Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Abby Hackyard. I'm just going to click this thing. I'm going to pick up my warm beverage that has some hot chocolate in it. Oh, yes. Hang on. Small chorus of angels. So it's a bit of an odd day today for a couple of reasons. One is that Gary and I are working on this huge project, and every so often we hit a snag, and then we do a bunch of deep diving and digging, and all of a sudden there's a light, and it isn't an oncoming train in the tunnel. And it's amazing when something matters, you're working on it, and it means a lot. And then, all of a sudden, you realize that you are taking steps forward. It just in the moment doesn't really feel like it. It's so exciting. And that was why I really wanted to talk to you today about something that we do without realizing it. And then when we look at it, we tend to beat ourselves up because it seems like we are deliberately getting in our own way. And we have enough things going on that can beat us up if we allow them. We don't really need ourselves to be on the bandwagon, right? Good morning, Miss Maggie. Good morning. We're going to be having a conversation later today. So what I want to talk about is this odd thing. Eddie, well, good morning. How nice to see you. What I want to talk about today is this very interesting red flag, because it isn't what we think it is right off the start. So the title of the video today, the title of ABCAST 430 is when there isn't any purpose in the thing we're doing, it feels like plodding. It feels like walking uphill, a slight uphill incline through molasses. It's relentless, it's grinding, it's dull. It isn't even satisfyingly difficult. It's just that. And we've all felt it, right? We've all felt it. And so here's where the red flag lives. When we keep doing a thing that appears to be plodding, when it appears to have no purpose, the question then is, why do we keep doing it? Really? And so that means something. And here's what it means. If we can't see the purpose, we wouldn't be plodding. If we can't sense a purpose, if we can't feel a purpose, if we are not experiencing a purpose, an outcome that has value of some kind, we would stop. So the fact that we don't is the flag. The fact that we don't stop means, and here's the self-diagnostic here. Here's the self-profiling. It means that it's serving some part of us, some agenda that we're not actually paying attention to, that we're not actually aware of. So, because Pivotry in Motion is this project that I've been studying for like 7 years now. And I've been working with therapists and psychologists and so on to help me see what it is that is in front of me. And so here's what we actually do. We give ourselves some kind of cure. We give ourselves some kind of protection. We give ourselves some kind of delaying tactic to keep on doing something mindless, something superficial, something that has become a habit, because it cures, it fixes, it soothes something we're not dealing with. Some part of us, some part of the back of our brain, some distant memory, whatever it might be, if we keep doing it, it is serving something. because if it wasn't, we would stop. So, and the immediate thing, of course, is this: on the phones, on the phones, on the phones, mindlessly. We're not saying, oh my gosh, I'm looking this up. Not those cases. Not, oh, I have to call you. Oh, I need to check in. No, just the mindless scrolling. What is that doing other than numbing the brain? Oh, wait. Numbing the brain? Why do we need to numb the brain? What could be so upsetting that we need to numb the brain? What could be so, I don't want to do that, so unpleasant that we find a way to stall and stall and stall and stall? What is it that we don't like, that we can't handle anymore, and we don't know how to make it go away? Oh, well, that might be stress, wouldn't it? That might be uncertainty. It might be after years and years and weeks and months and days and moments, we've run out of the energy to try and fix something that just seems unfixable. So what we do is we mentally and emotionally go away. We just go away. And all the ways that we choose to do that are a way of abandoning our post, of going AWOL without actually physically leaving. Isn't that interesting? A very, very clever man, a therapist, hired me many years ago to help him develop the language around a concept that he had put together. And he's a family systems therapist. And he was studying addiction, and he was studying the root causes. And what he had come up with, that he had verified in as many sources as he could. And tons of studies have been done since that have proven him correct, is that addiction is actually a self-defense mechanism against something we cannot fight. It is a way of filling our brain and feeding a different kind of emotion to get away from the thing we cannot cope with, we cannot deal with, we cannot improve, we cannot delete. We simply can't. We've tried, we can no longer deal with it. And so we do something else instead. And we fill the time with this something else. And the something else that we choose, whichever the thing is that we choose, it provides to us enough emotional satisfaction and enough surface level focus that we feel like we're actually doing something instead of just standing there empty. So what that process is the outcome. And this is this amazing phrase that I saw the other day, and I thought, there it is. This is the root cause of everything. And the phrase was that there is a curious apathy, a curious lethargy, a just limp disinterest, disconnect from ongoing, constant, unrelenting uncertainty. The longer we are uncertain. Kevin, good morning. Had to stop reading anything political, stress about what I read and saw, keeping me up. Yes. So you decided to become, well, Kevin, you can read me. So what we are given are opportunities to choose how we fill our time. Once we click on something, we automatically click on it again. Once we watch a television show, once we have the remote set on a channel, we just turn it on again. We may surf to find something, but even the surfing itself becomes an event. becomes a thing to do. And the reason I think, and again, this is me doing the digging for years and years now. We're trying to find the correction. We're trying to get ourselves back on track. We're trying to feel the way we used to feel. We're trying to get to that place where we're in that state called flow, where everything just works. Everything is just kind of doing it, and it's natural, and it's got its own internal momentum, right? We're trying to get back there. What no one has told us, what hasn't occurred to us, is that to get back in, you have to have enough rest. You have to have enough restorative time to have the energy to lift your foot over the side of the boat to get in with. You have to have enough rest to have the strength in your muscles to pick up the oar and participate. And if we don't give ourselves permission to rest, if we don't do the things that are necessary to allow us to rest, then we're always on some form of high alert. It's called hypervigilance. And if something scared us, if something happened, if something put us in that state, we have forgotten where the stand down button is. And that part of our brain that got triggered just keeps doing it, because that part of our brain's job is to keep us alive. It's an old part of the brain. It doesn't know what year it is. It's pre-verbal, for heaven's sake. Its job is to keep the heart beating and the eyes blinking and the body digesting and the blood flowing and all of the good things happening in this magnificent machine of ours. And along with that, because it does all of this stuff on auto programming, once we give it a few habits, it can do all kinds of things without us having to consciously think, how do I put a sock on? It just does it. How do I fall downstairs? How do I trip and fall through open doorways? It just does it. In order for us to change this, we can't simply say, hey, presto, beam me up. No, this part of the brain works on a pattern of behavior. This, then that, then the other. This, then that, then the other. This, then that, then the other. And it became a pattern because we did it often enough that it's automatic. We don't have to think about it. In order to make that stop, we have to create a new pattern. We have to have a different this, then that, then the other. And we have to do it with the same predictable regularity that we did the first one. The challenge is, many of us have been doing this, that, the other our whole lives, and we expect it to fix itself like that. And you know what? It's pretty darn close. It takes 90 days. And I don't mean 90 days nonstop from awake to asleep. I mean that in the opportunity. Let's say you brushed your teeth a certain way. Let's say you brushed your teeth up and down. You brush your teeth after every meal. You brush your teeth twice a day. You brush your teeth once a day. Doesn't matter. If that's the only way you've done it, that's the only thing your body knows how to do. You pick up the toothbrush, put on the toothpaste, and it just does it. And you can be thinking of a million other things. I've done it. I've put hand cream on my toothbrush. Gone. We've all done that too. When things aren't as good as they should be, I tend to be overstimulated and hypersensitive. Yes, yeah. Actual 5 sentences. Eddie, you're absolutely right. So your finger exercise and breathing help, as does taking a few seconds, turning away, getting my bearings. Eddie, exactly. The 5-finger exercise, for example, creates a break, creates a beat between cause effect. And thank you, Eddie, for the reminder. I'll show everybody in a second. So I just want to complete this thought. If you have done 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and you want to fix it on a regular basis, I tend to create a habit, and then I do it in the morning and I do it at night. I don't always remember because I have a lot of things going on in the middle of the day, but I do it twice. I'm also in the morning when I'm waking up. I'm saying how I feel, and I'm saying who I am, and I'm saying what I am and what is coming to me. I am defining my reality in the morning, and then at night I define my reality again, and I'm grateful and I give thanks. And I do that every day. Why? Because it's an emotional reset. It's a rewiring after all the things that have been input, all of the energies that I've stood next to, all the people with their moods and attitudes. I want to clear that all out. So in the same way that you wash your face and you brush your teeth and you wash your hands and you put on your pajamas and you get into bed, I am doing that as well, but I'm doing it in my head on top of that. I'm doing all the physical things, then I'm doing the mental thing and the emotional thing, because those are the new habits. And I developed those habits I can tell you exactly when, in 2018. In 2018, I hit a wall. And it was a massive wall. It was one of those things where you say, nope, not anymore. That's the Pivotry in motion moment, when you say, it may have seemed not that bad. I'm staring at the reality now. It's not only that bad, it's definitely not good enough. And I created a new set of habits in order to anchor my decision to shift me. I don't have to shift other people. I don't have to shift a circumstance. I have to shift me, so that the other people in the circumstance do not have, as Kevin was saying, as much of an influence on me, as Eddie is saying. So if we continue to do a thing that does not seem to have a purpose, some part of us needs it, wants it, desires it. That's why we're repeating it. It is feeding something. It is fueling something. And if all that it is feeding and fueling is a memory, is a habit, a thing we no longer need, we can change it. We pick a similarly simple, straightforward habit. And every time there's a tendency to do that, consciously do this. Every day, 90 days. That's a miracle. If in 90 days we can course correct something we've done for 90 years, 90 months, 90 weeks. If we've done it our whole adult life, and we decide we don't want to do it anymore, the decision isn't enough. We have to anchor it in physicality. The other thing Gary and I were talking about last night is that if you write something down and you read it out loud, two things happen. When you write it physically down with your hand, as opposed to that, what has been sitting in your heart, in your gut, in your head, is now on the page. It's over there. It's there. You can read it. You don't have to feel that you abandoned it or you have betrayed something in some way. It's there, but it's not living here. That's part of the purpose of the later folder. You write it down in the later folder. The later folder gives your subconscious brain reassurance that it won't be forgotten, because your subconscious brain thinks that this is going to keep you alive. Yes, good. And it's later and it's right here, but it's not right here. That's the important difference. Once we are aware of a thing we do, we can shift it. Until we are aware, we don't even know it exists. How could we possibly shift it? It's logic. There's no reasonable room to blame, shame, guilt ourselves for not fixing it. That's just a stalling tactic. If it's not working on any level, then we will find something else to do instead. So the opportunity presented to us to be a spectator rather than a participant, rather than an actor, rather than a protagonist, the person initiating. The opportunities given to us to spectate are simply opportunities given to us. There are certain foods I don't like. There are certain fabrics I don't like. There are certain entertainments I don't like. I therefore don't absorb them. I don't eat those things. I don't wear those things. I don't watch or listen to those things because I don't enjoy them. They don't give me anything of value. I will watch something else. I will eat something else. I will wear something else. I will choose what gives value to me. We all have that freedom to do that. Unless we are so exhausted, we are so overloaded that we just simply can't make one more decision now. We can't even make the decision now to shut it off. We can't make the decision now to get up and go to bed. We can't make any more decisions because we've made way too many today, and we are still being asked to make more of them. At least that's what we think. So here's the error that we have all made. If there is an option, a yes or a no, a left or a right, an up or a down, a black or a white, if there is an option presented to us, we feel that we should respond. And so we keep responding and responding and responding, even when those are not being presented to us. They are simply being presented, and we happen to walk in front of them and went, what's that? They aren't targeting us. They just are. And when we have the rest and we have the emotional and mental energy capacity restored, and we say, you mean that thing is just on? Yes. You mean it's not directed specifically at me? Correct. So the rules that I learned as a child, if somebody speaks to you, you respond. It's polite. That's not required. Correct. I can just walk away. Correct. Oh. I can just turn it off and walk away. Yes. And if I need it, I can come back and I can turn it on again. Correct. Oh, well, all right then. Click. Subconscious brain. Wait, where did it go? Click it on. Let's click it on. Oh, there it is. Oh, there it is. All right. Subconscious brain needs something on because we've taught it that on is the normal. On is safe. Watching, absorbing, that's safe. That's the habit. How do we fix it? We replace the habit. What can we look at? What can we be next to that feels similar? Well, you and I together, if I have struck a chord, you and I together will find that alternative, won't we? We will find that other thing. And by the way, hint, that other thing is us. We can listen to us for a change. We can think about our things for a change. We can be involved in our life for a change. We don't have to set ourselves aside and be involved in this. I saw, and this is to the point. I saw something on Facebook this morning. A person weighing in on something that happened hundreds of thousands of miles away. Well, I wasn't going to do this, but I think it's time that I weigh in on this. Okay. Go ahead. This is my take on it. Right. Okay. Long. I just read it out, going down. The bottom of it. Anyway, I don't know how many feathers I'm going to ruffle, but I had to get that off my chest. Fair enough. So you did it for you. Excellent. There it is. Good. How long did that take? How long did that take to write that? How many times did they stop to think and then write the next bit and the next bit and the next bit? How invested were they in weighing in on something hundreds of thousands of miles away instead of their neighbor, instead of their home, instead of their friends, instead of their family, instead of their immediate opportunities to do something of significance in real time with tangible returns? How many things did they not do in order to put my voice about that? And how energized was that? How invested was that? And who did it serve? And what did it change? What value did it bring? It didn't feel like plodding to that person to write it. So what was the purpose? The purpose was to feel connected. The purpose was to feel relevant. Why? Because in a time of endless uncertainty, we all wonder if we are safe. The cave is very small. There isn't room for a lot of people. If I don't bring value, will I get kicked out of the cave where the saber-toothed whatnots live? Do I have to prove myself that I have value here? Sure, we all do. Where we get lost, where we get confused, where we get exhausted, is we assume that if we heard the message, it was meant for us. And if it was meant for us, then it's a clarion call. We are needed. Gary and I talk about this all the time. Where we are needed most is right here. Where we are needed most is our family, is our community, is our village, is our tribe. When there is a large danger, but it's uncertain, it's vague, we can't see it, it's not clear, the tendency is to go to ground. Fight, flee, freeze, hide, comply. When we're afraid, when we're exhausted, We can't think logically. We think in knee-jerk survival mode, not in strategic thriving mode. And when we look around us at all of the people who change our lives in small ways, the backbone of any community is the small local business. When we look at those people and we see how tired they are, when we see how a long, unrelentingly uncertain episode like the pandemic pretty much sucked their energies and their innovation dry because it went on so long. And this is not about whether it was real or not real or reasonable or unreasonable. It's simply that uncertainty was unrelenting. And what it created, going back to the beginning, was this odd kind of lethargy, this apathy that we can't keep showing up, screaming and yelling and saying, "No!" in case the enemy is coming. Eventually, we lose our voice. Eventually, if all we're doing is yelling, we're not taking any time to relax and rest and breathe and rest and restore and rewire, we got nothing left. And what I've been doing, this is ABCAST 430, is talking about this and talking about the fact that there are remedies. There are simple habits that I was taught, that I self-taught, that I have learned and practiced, that keep us whole, that keep us grounded, that keep us feeling as though we have a rudder. We are part of something. While I rest, you'll stand watch. And we both win. Pivotry in motion is who we are. It's how we thrive. It's how we learn and grow. It's how we fix ourselves and live quality lives. And for those of us who have hit a wall harder than we expected, and we're discovering that it's really difficult to get back up, we're not meant to do it alone. We were never meant to do it alone. That's what the whole thing is here for. I was talking to somebody the other day who said, "So what's the career path now?" And I said, "Well, I'm still mom. I'm still mom, not that mom, not that mom, but I'm momming people in that I'm saying, do you need a hug, dear? Let me show you how this works to feel better. Let me show you how this works to take control, to feel okay again. Let me help you with that." And I'm not just talking to children. I'm talking to the inner child in all of us. It doesn't matter how big a CEO you are. There's still a little kid inside you who wants a grilled cheese sandwich and tomato soup when they don't feel well. And that's who I'm talking to. And that's who we are healing. And we are really making a difference for a lot of people. We are really helping people turn their lives around and get on a better track that was meant for them. And I think a lot of you are noticing that. I think a lot of you, like Eddie, for instance, Eddie and I did some really important work together a few months back. And Eddie's life is very different now. And he's using all my tools. He was talking about the later folder. Get it out of you onto a page that you can refer to later. And then the breathing exercise that Eddie loves. It's called the 5-finger breathing exercise. And it takes 30 seconds to disrupt stress. And you do it on both hands. Doesn't matter which one you start with. One hand, and then you will do the other. You take your index finger, this hand, and you just gently trace the outline of your hand. And you come all the way to the bottom, and then you go all the way back. You don't have to think about anything in particular. There's no mantra. There's no chanting. There's nothing you have to do. You just pay attention to how it feels. It's very soft. It's very soothing. If you want to do some good breathing from your diaphragm, you can do that. And by the time you get back to the beginning, what was jangling your nerves and making you crazy has lowered the volume all by itself. The later folder and the Now What time scheduler is another form that I have that's amazing. It allows you to track the time you spend on things that you didn't realize you were spending. And it gives you permission to take breaks in between things, to pause and reflect. Maggie is in the middle of a huge transformation. She's got a business she's creating. She's found an apartment. She's moving. She's interviewing people and being interviewed by people. And this is a whole new experience chapter in her life. And I have said to her, at the end of every function, take 5 minutes. She said, 5 minutes is a long time. I said, yeah. If you're in a meeting and the meeting is over and somebody says, can I talk to you for a quick second? Yeah, I'll be right there. I just need a minute. And close the door. Go away. Go into the bathroom. Hide under your desk. Give yourself 5 minutes. Why? To clear the residue, to get it out of there. All right then. Come back in. You're fresh. You're recharged. And you can give this new person 110% of you instead of 30% of you. They may be annoyed that it took 5 minutes, but they will be grateful with the outcome. Interesting, no? So the conversation today has been basically, why am I doing this? What does it do? Who does it serve? What does it change? Why do I care? At the end of the day, what's in it for me? What is this habit? And I'm using the scrolling because so many of us do it. What does this do? It delays my participation in the next thing. Who does that serve? It serves somebody who's overwhelmed. What does it change? Nothing. Why do I care? Because I can't do it anymore. I can't, I'm so exhausted, I can't even tell you why I can't do it anymore. What's the it? I don't know. Whatever you keep asking of me, whatever they keep asking of me. What if we use this to shut that off? Well, I can't shut it off. Okay. Well, if you can't shut that off, then you can walk away. You walk away over there. You can get the later folder and say, I'll turn this back on later, and walk away. We have the power. We have the agency. What we don't have is the drive. We don't have the curiosity. We don't have the anticipation. We don't have the excitement. We don't have the wonder because we are exhausted. What we need is a hug. What our little inner child, our exhausted inner child needs is a nap. We don't know how to give ourselves that. So we do this because it feels like we're shutting off. What we're doing accidentally is we're draining our batteries. Because the end of this story today, this brilliant therapist who hired me to walk alongside him, to mentor him, to collaborate with him on his brilliant concept, his brilliant book, is that this is a survival mechanism. This is a fundamental, basic survival mechanism. If we keep using it, it becomes our cage. It stops being our refuge. It becomes a cage. we become owned by that habit. The intention was to soothe. The intention was to save. Do it too often, and we are no longer alive. We are no longer living. We are serving that, supporting that. We don't allow ourselves to rest, but we remember to plug in the phone to recharge its batteries. How crazy is that? So, what is the solution? What is the outcome? I'm a big fan of writing a note to myself. I put a Post-it note on my mirror in the bathroom. Wash my hands, turn around, there's the mirror, and the Post-it note says, take 5 minutes. Stay here, do the 5-finger breathing exercise. It says, there's the instruction. And I stop and I think, good plan, Stan. And I do it. I set up reminders to me. The conversation with my lovely client friend, Susan. Forgot it? Got it. How did you got it? Post-it note. Place it everywhere you need to. Does it look silly when people come over? So what? They're going to ask you what it's for. You're going to show them. They're going to do it when they get home. We can rewire our brilliant, brilliant brain. We can develop better survival, thrival strategies. We can get our essential yes back. One repeated, simple habit move at a time. 90 days to get you back in the game. 90 days to score that touchdown. 90 days to come up with that genius plan. To say, I'm walking here again. All right. I'm back, everybody. I'm back. How do I know it? I did it. And then I did it again and again. With every chapter closing, I figured out how to get the energy to open the next one. That's what these ABCASTs are for. Pivotry in Motion is the program. We're launching in birthday month. My gift to us. And some of you are already in the boat, and there's plenty of seats and there's plenty of oars. And I'm going to not bash you over the head every day, but I'm going to let you know that it works. I'm going to let you know that it's fun. I'm going to let you know that the minute you start, everything is possible. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being part of this amazing journey. It would not be the same without you. I think you know that. Thank you for telling your friends. Thank you for watching. Thank you for thinking about it. Thank you for checking it out again the second time and the next time and the next time, because investing in this is investing in you. And that's why we're doing it. So, you know the drill. Lots of stuff happening this week for me and for you. By the way, if you're in the United States, I understand that this weekend there's going to be a really, really weird and unrelenting weather event. Lots of freezing rain and snow. So for those of you who have not experienced it, Too much freezing rain can crack and crack poles and bring down power lines. So please look after yourselves. Please make sure all of your devices are charged. Please make sure you have water. Please make sure you have food that you can eat that doesn't require cooking, or if you do cook, that you can do it without turning something on that requires electricity. And stay warm. Stay close to your loved ones, okay? Because we get freezing rain a lot, and it ain't fun, all right? So after that, what I want to say is, catch you next time.